Hello everybody out there on the interwebs. I just want to do a quick lessons learned that I had in the last 2 days on two sound bars that I believe are similar, which is the Sony HT-Z9F and the LG SK9Y. A lot of comparisons. You might say the 10 is more comparable or whatnot, but these are the two that I have in the house physically today, and I've been testing it for the last 2 days. Why am I doing this? Because I want to hear Dolby Atmos. So everything's surrounding Dolby Atmos. What am I used to? A little bit of background of what I'm going for is that I started doing home theater systems in the late 80s, before 5.1. Where research you had to go to a specialist and talk to a physical person. There wasn't even the internet, right? So today, you go to the internet and people are giving you their personal opinions without telling you where they're coming from. And I think that's unfair, and I think that you need to double check those kind of things, right? So that being said, I am used to full-blown tower speakers doing the signal sourcing. A big center channel, meaning a center channel with at least 2 5 1/4s in it, and a big old tweeter, right? Talking like Clips, talking like Polk. I'm talking those kind of brands, right? Because I had a home theater. I physically had a home theater. It was a room that was built with a projector in it, and that was a home theater with nice seats in it, right? But now I'm in a condo, so I need and I love technology, so I'm seeing, can I get something like that? Number one, with a better price point, and number two, better aesthetically looking, because having big old speakers is not what I'm going for, right? Never really did. I was trying to always hide those things, but so that's what we're doing now. What is Dolby Atmos? It's Dolby atmospheric sound, meaning like instead of just the sound coming from a specific speaker, now it has an ability to either virtually be on top, swooping through the top over you, like a helicopter, things like that, or physically firing up, bouncing or coming from your ceiling down to where you're at, right? Atmospheric. Now it's doing height. Okay, it's doing the height of something now versus just like the location of it. Okay, hopefully that helps. It's a layman's term, it's a raised term, right? So that being said, what did the LG come with? LG, first of all, came with a big old box. Okay, what did it come with? It came with a manual. These are the manuals. Comparison to what the Sony came with, 90-page plus other manuals. That's Sony, right? What did the LG and Sony come with as their remote controls? LG came with this remote. Sony came with this remote. Okay? Talk about that a little bit more later. Now, cable-wise, the LG came with an optical cable and the Sony came with an HDMI cable. I didn't use any of those cables, right? I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that actually does any signal processing, does any kind of protocol, anything. I'm not saying get a $100 HDMI cable, but you got to get quality cables, okay? The least you should get is a cable that says high speed on there, right? And I challenge anybody to go and go to Costco right now. I don't have go to Costco right now and get a Sapphire cables, which is two 12-foot HDMI cables for less than $20, 2 of them, and go get the cable from your cable manufacturer that doesn't say high res on it, and tell me it's the exact same cable, and tell me you can actually see the same stuff. And when I say that, could do it in a controlled environment. Because if you tell me that versus just reading something, and you tell me it's the same kind of quality, you must have a not great TV. I'm not saying a cheap TV, I'm not saying I'm not a great TV. Because if you got a decent TV, you don't got to go OLED or a Z9 Sony, but I can tell. And I've done physical checks. I've had people that don't believe it. I'm not going to name how old they were, but they challenged me, and I told them, well, let me show you. And once they saw it, they wanted to go check my cables, right? Sapphire cables, Costco, 2 for less than 20, 12-footers, versus the cable you get for free. I think the Xbox cable is pretty cool because it says high res on it, Xbox One S. Just a composite color. Okay, that's what it came with. Now, okay, that's what it comes with. What does it look like? So you see what it looks like now. The LG, physically bigger. It is also, you see the height and you see the width, but it's also about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deeper. Height's the same. Okay? Weight, LG is at least close to double the weight of the Sony, right? And when it comes to speakers and how something's well built, that thing is heavy, it's strong, okay? Sony's lighter. So that's when physical sound, a lot of it's physical, right? When you go to a concert, you see big old speakers. You can't get a subwoofer to be a little, you can't, well, my iPhone makes good subwoofer noise for what it is. So technology, but you know, when it comes down to certain home theaters, there's got to be certain sizes, right? So I mean, I'll get up that topic. But so what looks better to you, right? LG looks good to me. It looks perfect. It's the width of my 55-inch TV. It looks good. You know, it's got a little grayer matte to it, right? The Sony, a little smaller. I thought it was going to be a lot smaller, but just a little smaller. And it has a little gloss on top, a little bling on the top, and you can take, this grill is meant to come off. You know, some of the older systems you could actually do that too, so you can see your speakers to it, right? So they even did that, right? So that's what that is. There is your display. I don't know if you can see that. And there is a display over here. When I say display, like HDMI input, tells you all that kind of stuff, right? Both of them, the LG actually tells you when it's on digital Atmos in front of you here. For a quick second, when you turn it on. For the Sony, you press the display button if it's relatively easy. Okay? So see, it says, it's a black box. So if this was in black, you'd see it. It says Dolby Atmos, and it's to the virtual surround. Okay? All right? On the LG, you press this button here, and then this changes. So it tells you PCM right now, but if it was Atmos, it'd tell you Atmos. Just FYI, what I've learned. Okay, so that's what it looks like. That's what came in the box. Now let's talk about content. If you're gonna go get Dolby Atmos right now, the sources of that's when I started going to it, is because Netflix started saying they're gonna provide it. Right? That's how I started. And then there was a sale. Because, you know, Ultra DVDs, they're $20 to $24 to $30, $40 a piece. I got 3 for $40. And I wanted to make sure they all had the Atmos logo on them. So double check and make sure you have the Atmos logo. I don't know if that's in focus or not. All right. So that's all, content-wise. So Netflix has a dozen movies now. You have to see the Atmos badge on it when you look at it. I'll put a screenshot of that on here too. Biggest lessons learned is in your source devices. A source device is like your Apple TV 4K, which does Dolby Atmos. You got to configure it. Okay, it'll sound good not configured, but you have to go online and learn how to configure it. It's not hard. Okay, on the Sony, you got to actually download Dolby software and then configure it as well. Both of these won't let you do it unless you have a soundbar. So you can't do it ahead of time. It doesn't take a long time anyway. Okay, but just in case you lose connection or power or something like that, it's gonna not be on Atmos anymore. So you got to check it once in a while, and that's just how it is. I mean, that's what I've learned, right? If I did something, if I switched the cables out and lost power on it, then it would default to 5.1, which is not bad, but it's not Atmos, so you're paying for that, right? So content, setting up your content sources, very important, right? Outside of that, though, now let's talk the nitty-gritty. The nitty-gritty. What did I prefer? Okay. Well, that decision making to me also, how much does this stuff cost? I first bought the LG because the LG was on sale at Best Buy November 2018, right? For $449. $449, the soundbar. And then since I'm used to rear, so I bought the SP4s, even though the SP8s are recommended, didn't have them in stock. They're coming in today, but the SP4s were $50. So I walked out the door at $500 plus tax on a full-blown system, rears and fronts, LG. The next day or a couple days later, it's at $599. I say that because if it was at $599 in the beginning of the decision, I would have taken a stronger look at the Sony. Okay? Now, why didn't I go with the Sony first? Well, because it was $699. And the rears cost $299. So that would have been $1,000. Today, it would be $1,000 out the door. Was I willing to spend that? I was willing to spend it because I spent more. Again, my systems that I put together, my home theater systems, $1,000 was the subwoofer, right? And I had 2 of those. Center channels were $600, $800, okay? So I understand you get what you pay for. But at the same time, I wanted to see what I can get bang for the buck. I really wanted to see what I can get bang for the buck. What do you mean bang for the buck, right? I mean, as in the sense, what can I get at the lowest cost, right? And not entry level. This isn't entry level. You know, this isn't the 2 or I don't know what the lower models are, but this is definitely not entry level, right? So, was I happy with LG? I was, man. LG's good. LG's good today, right? But the Sony has more technology built into it. And what lead me towards that is that it has eARC built into it. Man, I want to go into deep into eARC, but you need eARC, and it's the future. Only 2 TVs in November 2018. Only 2 TVs have eARC in it. It's enhanced ARC, right? Look it up. You're probably using it now, right? If you're not using it, then you just gotta know it's actually it's cable management, right? But Dolby Atmos doesn't push through regular ARC. You need eARC, and there's only 2 TVs that have eARC now. We know we're going that way because of the sound. eARC supports Atmos. I didn't know, lessons learned, I didn't know that the Atmos stuff needed more bandwidth than the video stuff. And it does, right? So just because it says 4K ultra capable doesn't mean that that port or that plug is the same that can pass through the Atmos. And all documentation says that, right? Sony has that. It also has 2 HDMI ins. So because you can't use your ARC on your TV, your plugs on your TV, and then go to your soundbar, you have to go directly in. So I was struggling. I got three Dolby Atmos capable sources: cable box, Xbox, 4K Apple TV. I had to physically take. I might have ruined those cables as far as I know, right? I mean, try to be gentle, but it is what it is. So that was another reason. Okay, and then I do have Sony stuff. That wasn't a big thing, but it is something. Because, you know, when I had clips and Polk Audio and all that kind of stuff, they don't make TVs, right? So, gonna keep the Sony. It is at $699. Not gonna pick up the rears right now, but I have to tell you, the digital sound processing of the Atmos that's coming over, because it doesn't have physical speakers on top, but the LG does. LG, right? Not dogging LG, I'm telling you. It's good. Get it for the price, right? It's my personal opinion right now, is all. But the digital sound processing of the Sony Z9F on the Atmos side and on the rear side, it's amazing to me. And I love technology, so I'm gonna stick with the Sony. Wish it had more. What do I wish it had more? I wish it had more HDMI inputs. I wish my TV had eARC. Then I wouldn't probably have gone to get the Sony, right? Just real quick, this is Xbox's content. So while I'm ending this, I'll just go show you what you get for free. It's not going to make any difference to you, but you know, this is the kind of stuff. If it wasn't playing Atmos, it'd tell you on the bottom here, which is really cool. That's when you know you're not configured correctly, right? But this, man, it's virtualizing everywhere. Again, you're not going to feel it, but this is a demo you get on the Xbox side. And then what else? Why did I like that? Got a minute and a half here. Well, how about the fact that I just did a quick update, and now you can do Alexa on your Sony. So you can say, Alexa, play holiday music on soundbar.
The station Holiday Favorites on Amazon Music.
So now you can play Alexa on there. I didn't buy it for that. I do have Echo stuff in my house, right? But now you can play it through your soundbar, right? That's not a decision-making factor. This is something nice. LG could probably do that too. I don't know. I just did an update and it did it, right? I also like the fact that you can take the grill off. You know. So outside of that, let me just say one more thing about the LG, because I'm not dogging the LG. LG again, $500. Okay, including the rear speakers, $550 with the bigger rear speakers. Sounds great. Sony, sounds great. I went for technology and more HD technology, meaning the eARC and more HDI inputs. I told you why. If there was a simple solution and there was a eARC hub, I probably would have got the Sony, and I'd have been perfectly happy. So hopefully it helps. Again, LG is great, especially if you can get the prices that I got it for. Sony is great. I gotta save it for the rears. But I wanted to give you somebody physically had both of them for a couple of hours, and some of the lessons learned that I had. All right.